This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. As always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my friend, your friend, my partner in crime, and the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog? How you doing?
Good. I am actually sitting here watching the San Francisco 49ers documentary on ABC Plus. It's on pause right now, but it's awesome. It's good so far.
I've heard a lot of good things
so
about
if you
it.
get a chance to check it out, you definitely should.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I've also heard that there's way too much Tom Brady involved in it.
Well, you know he was a big old 49er season ticket holder when he was a kid.
Yes.
And he's the executive producer, so he can do what he wants.
Yeah. That's fine. But I want a little bit more of the story and not him and the story. That's just me.
It's definitely most of the story, and even his parts are primary interviews with Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and Steve Young and Guy McIntyre, Keenan Turner. He's really they're recounting stories.
They got my guy McIntyre in that bad boy, huh? All right.
Yeah. So far, I don't even know who's going to be in the next couple. So far, we're hitting now all the greatest hits. Carmen Policy, Eddie D is in here so far. He's admitting that he could be kind of hard to work with every now and then.
No, you think? No. Eddie DeBartolo was a taxing owner and maybe drove Bill Walsh to the brink quite a few times. No, I don't believe that. That's impossible. No, he's being too hard on himself. We got Marcus frozen. We'll get him here in just a second. Well, you are for just a little bit, for just a split second.
I think I'm gonna transfer. I'm gonna transfer to a different. Hang on.
I tell you what, you do that, and I will tell the folks about our fine presenting sponsor, the fine folks at wait for it. Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. And at all 3 locations, they all do the same great things. Well, 4 things. First and foremost, very reliable Wi-Fi. Secondly, fantastic food from a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is absolutely fantastic, and a live music, live entertainment selection that will satisfy even the most avant-garde. Look at me using fancy terms that are not even English words. Avant-garde entertainment taste. If you're looking for a touring act from around the country, they stop by all 3 Hop Monk locations. But I love what they do at Hop Monk live entertainment-wise because it's a great place for local artists to be seen. So to see what they have coming up live entertainment-wise at Hop Monk, check them out online at hopmonk.com. Better yet, follow them on all the socials. Better yet, make sure you check them out live and in person in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. Now we got the Wi-Fi. Marcus has a new crib, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed this. You longtime quality hangers, that you've noticed that Marcus has he's gotten a new house, and he is building himself a studio in his house. And what has gone from Marcus sitting in, and I would expect that people were maybe a little bit concerned for your well-being. Marcus was at one point just sitting in a very empty, echoey room. Now you can see that Marcus is doing just fine. He is not being held captive. He is not being held against his will. Marcus has been able to actually get some things in the room to take away a little bit of the echo and also make it look a lot less like he's being held in a nondescript
Exactly.
place and being held for ransom. So see, he's
Exactly.
got a picture of his family in the background. He's got a picture of his muse, Prince, if you will. He's even got some neon going
Yeah,
on with
baby.
that. So we get to follow Marcus as he decorates and as he builds.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta get soundproofed up in here. I gotta get some stuff. I got some furniture coming for this place. When it's done, I'll give you a little tour. But I got my little recording stuff over here. I got a couple of keyboards over there. Hold on. So we ready to rock.
I love it. This is a very professional and full service operation we've got going on here at Quality Hang. Where do we start? You know what? Let's start here. Something a little bit different. We'll get to the Niners and their new defensive coordinator Raheem Morris, and we'll get to the NFL. It's funny. I woke up this morning, Marcus, and for like maybe the first 10 minutes of me being conscious on this February 2nd, 2026. I had completely forgotten that it was Super Bowl week, and I'd completely forgotten that the Super Bowl is here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I opened my phone and started reading the news as we now
Yeah.
do on our phones instead of old school newspapers or turn on television. Saw the headline that we had a minor, by our Bay Area accounts anywhere, earthquake, and that it was Super Bowl week starting. With Super Bowl opening night down in San Jose. But we'll get to all that, and we'll get to the Warriors and their desires to get Giannis in just a second. I want to talk to you, Marcus, because out of the two of us, you are the more entertainment focused of the two of us. You love movies. You love prestige TV shows. You watch the award shows. So I got to ask you, what did you think of the Grammys last night? Just give us your overall thought of what went down on music's biggest night, as they say.
Much better than probably one of the better shows I've seen in the last 5 years. It felt like a lot more cohesive show. The Grammy tributes tend to be kind of trash because generally speaking, somebody's died and they sort of throw some shit together real fast. They did a tribute for Roberta Flack, D'Angelo, etc., and it brought the house down. I was so impressed. Lauryn Hill was there. She's on time. Apparently.
On time, I heard. Yeah.
It was a really good show. And it also, last time was really good if you're somebody who's really into, if you have really eclectic taste in music like I do, then I think you do as well. It's a good night. Like, there is definitely talent out there, but there's always the poppy stuff, which I'm not mad at. Like, you need the pop stuff to keep people happy, keep people in good moods. I will say this. One trend that I don't love is that there are more and more people lip syncing at the Grammys, which I don't like that. And I went to the Grammys probably every year for like 6 years. And those shows were always fun and everybody always performed live. But at least 4 acts yesterday were lip syncing. And I'm like, this is whack.
It's interesting you mentioned that because I didn't know that. And it's not something that even if I did know it, it would really make an impact. But it's rattling around my head because I think about the dunk contest and how it's not what it used to be. And the simple explanation for it is dudes just don't want to go out there and possibly embarrass themselves. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Let's put it that way. Guys don't want to go out there and get embarrassed, or they don't want to go out there and have the judges do some dumb shit like, we've seen in a couple of contests. It's just, there is no, for lack of a better way of putting it, there is no penalty or there is no downside to saying, nah, I'm not going to do it. Whether you are an established NBA superstar or even an up and coming guy. I know that VJ Edgecombe, Cat, really good young player for the Sixers.
Yeah.
I mean, Cat is an athletic freak. And I asked him if he was going to do the dunk contest, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing it." And so I mentioned that because hearing you as someone, obviously who's watched the Grammys for years, and you've actually attended live Grammys, I get a sense that, back in the day, it was a point of pride for artists to sing live.
Oh yeah.
Now, these days, there is not necessarily a penalty, or you're not looked upon disfavorably. I think I just invented a word. If you don't do it live, if it probably is even encouraged for you to actually lip sync, and if you're the artist, you're like, okay, if there's no downside to doing it, and there's not an opportunity for me to embarrass myself unless the track doesn't work or what have you. What was it, like that Ashley Simpson Saturday Night Live situation?
Yeah.
But there is no downside for the artist to not sing live. It just seems like that's, maybe that's kind of a convoluted way of me marrying those two things together. But it sure seems like
that's fair.
Tastes and opinions have changed when it comes to that. And now, guys, how they look at the dunk contest.
Yeah, dude, it's interesting. Just people's attitudes about popular music in general. At least the generations below us, they do have a different perspective on music. Most of them are like, I don't care what the lyrics are. I just like the vibe. I'm like, that's insulting to me.
Yeah.
What? You don't care about the lyrics? You don't care how people sound? I mean, it's interesting, but like I said, it is interesting. I think it's kind of like the Milli Vanilli thing really hit hard when they got up there and they didn't perform live. After that, there was a stigma for a while where you had to get up there and perform live. But once Michael Jackson got up there and he lip synced, now it's like everybody's kind of like, you know what? If I sing live, I sing live.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate when really great artists like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go up there and let it go.
Did we get a Sly Stone tribute, or did he just get a shout out in the?
They showed some love to Sly. That was really cool. Stevie Wonder was in there. Questlove was in on it. Yeah, it was nice. Did some Ozzy. I'm glad you reminded me of that. Ozzy got a little love. Yeah, man. It was a really, really strong show. And Bruno Mars, who I just enjoyed thoroughly. He's one of my favorite performers right now. Like right now, probably my favorite live performer is Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Right on. And so Kendrick was the big winner. I saw some video of him accepting one of the awards that he won. And the first thing I zeroed in on was he's got a Grammy in his hands, and he had a pick with the fist on it in his hair. And I'm just like, it's February 1st. He's keeping it real. I can dig that. I respect that. I respect the pick and the hair ethos that he's
he's got
living.
26 Grammys now.
And a Pulitzer, by the way.
I mean, woo. The haters are saying, well, all Kendrick has to do is sneeze on record and then they'll give him a Grammy. Maybe, but you got to establish a baseline of perfection before people start giving you the benefit of the doubt like that.
I think it's fair to say that Kendrick Lamar is a prolific and gifted writer. You don't win over 24 Grammys and a Pulitzer and sell out stadiums around the world and have people chanting, by the tens of thousands in unison words that you've written. You don't do that if you don't have a devastating vocabulary and a devastating way of putting together that vocabulary.
Yeah, a lot of folks hate it, but I mean, like I said, the man got up there. I am not one of the people who I don't hate the Grammys. I don't hate award shows. I am one of the people who thinks it's a net positive for the industry, for music in general, for people to be recognized. Because like the Hall of Fame, I like those things because they do show appreciation most of the time for greatness. They get it right, but also they force you to remember people's greatness. And for better or worse, even some great artists and some great athletes that don't get awards or don't get titles, they easily get forgotten in the background. And that's what sucks.
I've never thought about it that way because I'm not an award show person. And I will gladly and gleefully admit that that's my hang up. I don't enjoy watching entities congratulate themselves to the point of excess. And again, that's my hang up.
Well, you're
And
not alone.
yeah, and my thing has always been, Eddie Vedder said it. You're giving away awards for art, and to me, art is the ultimate in subjectivity. It's just what is good to you might be bad to someone else, and
Always.
I guess being a being a Gen X kid and also being stuck in my own ways. I guess I look at these award shows as self-congratulatory, and I look at them with disdain without sort of thinking about the point that you made, which is, yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of overdone excess, if not a total amount of overdone excess to it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at its core, the Grammys, the Emmys, the Oscars, even the ESPYs, they all serve a purpose to highlight and spotlight what hopefully and ultimately is good about your industry and that area in which you traffic.
I wholeheartedly believe that because, like I said, it's just too easy to forget some people because they didn't get into the Hall of Fame or they didn't get an award. Like how many great players never won MVPs? It's a shocking number. You know who one of my all-time favorite players is? Like one of my top 25 players of all time, Donovan McNabb. And I think Donovan McNabb is worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. He ain't there, and people do not talk about him at all.
Oh boy, I
Oh,
totally agree with you that he's not talked about enough, and I think his lack of Super Bowl success and literally throwing up in the Super Bowl, at the biggest moment. I think that comes back to bite him.
yep.
Boy, Hall of Fame, and you know me, how I feel about Hall of Fames, similar to Halls of Fame is similar to how I feel about award shows. I don't need a museum to tell me what I saw was or was not great. I know greatness when
Right.
I see it. Oh man, Donovan McNabb is a Hall of Famer. I can't see it. As someone who I think you could say is underrated, okay, I'll give you that.
I
But
mean, that guy, what is it, 4 straight NFC championship games?
yeah, I mean,
But really, literally had nobody else on that, no receivers ever. Literally was winning games with him and Andy Reid out there just
yeah, T.O. for that 1 year, and
yeah,
T.O. on a
1
broken
year.
leg, at
1
8
year.
catches and 180 yards or
But
what the hell ever it
like
was.
some
Boy, I see.
of the
Here's
stuff
why.
Donovan McNabb used to do was mind blowing.
Yeah, but here's the deal. At some point, though, you are going to have to win some MVPs. Yeah, at least win one. I don't know how many first or second team all pros he had, but you got to have a pretty good number of all pros in there, not Pro Bowls, all pros. All right. And you are one of the elite in the league. I don't know Donovan McNabb's stats. I just off the top of my head, I couldn't put him in the Hall of Fame. Oof, I couldn't do it. Could not do it.
He's easy for me.
Could not do it. Let's get to the Niners here as we continue on with the Monday edition of
Oh, okay. Here you go. He
Okay.
5 times NFC Championship game.
Okay.
5 times Eastern Division champions. The 1 Pro Bowl appearance.
How many pros?
I'm looking. They don't have it on here.
Yeah, if he doesn't have any all pros, I can't put him in the Hall of Fame. That's those 5 straight NFC title games. That's fantastic, but to me, that's more of a team stat. No MVPs. All right, man. You don't win MVP. All right.
Although it's going to be tough for him to get MVPs in the era he played in.
Yeah, but there's 2 all-pro teams. You got to make one of them bad boys for a good stretch of time.
All-pro is definitely what is it? Is it 2?
2 teams.
2 or 3?
2. 3 NBA teams, 2 all-pro teams.
Copy it.
All NBA teams. 3 all NBA teams, 2 all-pro teams. If you don't have any all-pros in there, I can't.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Can't do it. But again, him being underrated, sure. Yeah, I'll bang with that. I'll absolutely bang with that. Let's get to the Niners here and other NFL various related matters. Niners new defensive coordinator Raheem Morris. Niners not necessarily announced it, but it is widely known that he is the new defensive coordinator. Was the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons this year. Falcons moved on one of the 10 coaches openings, and we'll talk about that because as you see with the headline here at the bottom of the screen, no new black head coaches here with those 10 jobs being open. Raheem Morris, by the way, was a strong candidate for the Arizona Cardinals job, but because Raheem Morris has a brain, he decided rightfully that being the Niners defensive coordinator was a significantly better job than being the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, even though it is an NFL head coaching job. But Raheem Morris, he and Kyle Shanahan been tight for a long time. Raheem Morris, by the way, not a defensive guy all his life, comes from the offensive side of the football. And his last defensive coordinator stint was with the Rams over the last few years before he took the job with the Falcons that, again, he was eventually let go from over the course of this recently completed NFL regular season. The scuttlebutt is, for folks who are looking to fault the hire, that Raheem Morris, that defense, Marcus, they ran in Atlanta, which was the defense for the first half of the season, really till the Niners got a hold of them and ran the ball well and moved the ball up and down the field and won that game on a Monday night after the Falcons beat the Buffalo Bills of Sunday night, after the Falcons beat the Buffalo Bills on the previous Monday night. It was a good Falcons defense that was stopping the run, and it was getting pressure on opposing passers, mainly due to blitzing. They had one of the highest blitz rates in the league. But people, Marcus, are saying that Morris is going to come in. They ran a 3-4 defense in Atlanta. The Niners are a 4-3 defense. That's the personnel that they have. Common sense would say that Raheem Morris understands that he's going to have to change his defensive coordination philosophy based on what the Niners have. And what they have is a team that is built to run a 4-3 defense with the wide nine, if you want to get really defensively nerdy about it. But to just reflexively say, Marcus, that, well, he was a 3-4 defensive coordinator last year, he can't run a 4-3, therefore it's going to be bad. I just think it's reductive and silly and just not the case.
I concur. Like if you're a really good defensive coach, you're familiar with all the fundamentals and all the tricks and all the intricacies of whatever defense. You got to play multiple defenses in the NFL. You're not just one. You might have your base, but you got to be able to play multiple styles of defense. So I think that's an unfair check mark against Raheem. And from whatever, this guy's a great coach.
Yeah, I think he's a very good defensive mind, and I like what you just said there in terms of being flexible with your philosophy as a coordinator, particularly in this case as a defensive coordinator, because one of the things Raheem Morris did this past season with the Falcons that I'm intrigued about him bringing to the Niners is that he would play a lot of 5-man fronts. And that's something the Niners just have not done. So I'm very curious to see how much of that we get with the Niners as Raheem Morris as a defensive coordinator, walking a linebacker down along with those 5-man fronts. So in essence, making it a 6-man front. I'm curious to see what Raheem Morris does with the Niners secondary. Me personally, I'm fine with what the Niners have at cornerback and Lenore and Green. One thing I read today from Kyle Posey of Niners Nation, want to shout him out. Just a really smart guy, when it comes to kind of distilling what the Niners are all about. That the Niners last year, and understand this, if this is not how you get down, it's not how you get down. And Robert Saleh understood the Niners' strengths and their weaknesses, especially with the injuries they had last year, is that the Niners cornerbacks didn't travel with number one receivers. Like I said, I like Green, I like Diamador, Lenore. But he basically kept them static, just kept them on their respective sides of the field. And we were talking week 18 and then the divisional game against the Seahawks. We talked about this on Niners pre and post on NBC Sports Bay Area, with Jackson Smith and Jigba being as excellent as he is. Would the Niners move Diamador Lenore and just have him shadow? And we all said, because it just, we knew that the Niners and Saleh didn't want Lenore to travel, because not only was that just not the way that they had gotten down defensively all year long, it wasn't something that Lenore, not that he was uncomfortable with it, but they didn't want to throw something out there new. Also, it would just put the rest of the secondary in a state of flux. I'll be curious to see if Raheem Morris, how much, if the situation does call for it in an extreme case, like to just use as an example, Seattle and Njigba going up against the Niners. Now, does he just say, we're going to travel, they're number one with our number one, and that's just how we get down? Because in those situations, if we have a guy in Lenore that we trust can do that, it only makes sense to use that defensive philosophy in that regard.
I suspect, and I could be completely wrong, I suspect that he is not going to be a guy who says, well, this needs fixing, because it really doesn't. It was a heavily injured defense. Mm-hmm. I suspect he'll come in, he'll have the opportunity to really study the defense. He'll have lots of time to study every single piece of game film. And I think he will kind of stick with what they have because it worked. Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Yep. I completely agree there. And I do think we're going to see a little bit more blitzing. And I think that will happen because of what you just mentioned. Niners are getting healthier. And you have a coordinator who, I think Robert Saleh would have done more blitzing, even though he's not a blitz heavy guy by any stretch of the imagination. I think Robert Saleh would have done more blitzing had the defense had been healthier, and also that they've been getting, better safety play on the back end. I think, again, all things being equal, all things being healthy for the Niners across the board defensively, I think you are going to see more blitzing. It's not going to be it's not going to be crazy Brian Flores type blitzing where he's sending guys basically 98% of the time. But I don't think the Niners are going to be, they're not going to sit back and be static and try and play coverage to get out of certain situations. So I like the hire. Jim Schwartz would have been nice, but he's under contract with Cleveland. I like Brian Flores, but Minnesota just gave him $6 million, so they were clearly not inclined to let him go and go anywhere else, definitely not go to the Niners. So Raheem Morris, his familiarity with Shanahan, just kind of, set it and forget it, just let him have the defense. Also, and maybe this is worth something, maybe this is worth nothing, but Raheem Morris being intimately familiar with how Sean McVay gets down with the Rams, as I mentioned, the time he spent with him. I just think overall it's a net positive, and any negatives that one could think of, I think can be sort of easily rebuffed or just be looked at as, I just don't think that's a big of a deal.
I am looking forward to what they do next year. The tricky thing is, will this team be as good next year? Even if everybody comes back, it was kind of a magical season.
Here's why that's impossible to answer, because we didn't think that they would be as good as they were last year record-wise with all the people that they lost. If the Niners had stayed completely healthy, let's just say they had none of the injuries that they had to the people they had them to Bosa and Warner in particular. And if you say the Niners fully healthy would have a 12-4 season, and a 12-5 season, and would go to the divisional round of the playoffs, you would say, well, that's ultimately not what you want, because if you're that healthy, you should at least get to an NFC championship or play for a Super Bowl. But man, they won 12 games and they got to the divisional round. That's a hell of a season. They did that with being as injured with, to key players as no team would want to be. So I don't know how good or how bad they're going to be next year. The obvious answer, I guess, would be if they're healthier, they should be better. But 12 wins is pretty damn good.
12 wins
Like
is
if
great.
they're healthier, so we're talking 13, 14 wins.
Probably have a tougher schedule. People are.
I mean, they're going to play a third place schedule, and they're playing the AFC West and the NFC East as their divisional opponents. So
I thought they played the East this year.
no, they played the AFC South and the NFC South last year. This past year. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows in that regard? As I mentioned before, all of the job openings except for the Arizona Cardinals opening, and they are expected to finalize their hire here in the not too distant future. So there were 10 head coaching openings, and none of those openings, Marcus, were filled by a Black American man. I think everyone has the same sort of thought about this, which is clearly that ain't right, but clearly this is the NFL, and it's almost like you expect it.
I mean, what can you do? I mean, what can you do? And there just isn't a real solid sort of remedy for any of that stuff. It's up to the owners to sort of and by the way, it's not because there aren't viable candidates, which was the excuse for decades. So there's plenty of viable candidates. It's just that old boys club never goes away, baby.
Yeah,
it's always gonna stick.
Yeah. It comes as a surprise to no one, to absolutely no one.
No, not at all. And like I said, until there's a Black owner, it may not ever change. It may not ever change. That's okay.
Hey, brother, it might not change even if you have a Black owner.
These are facts. These are facts.
Let's keep it a buck, dog.
That's so true, dude. Damn.
Oh,
ain't Magic a part owner of the Commanders?
I mean, yeah, but he's part owner. You know what I mean? Like he's part owner of the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Like basically, he's paying for really good seats. But is Magic Johnson in there banging the table? I know the Commanders don't have a job opening yet. If they have another season where they don't make the playoffs, then yeah, Dan Quinn is going to be out. They will be looking for a coach. But do you think Magic Johnson is going to be in there banging on the table, yelling at Josh Harris, the guy who does own the Commanders, saying you got to get a Black man here as coach?
Well, I know that if there's any market that would be open to the Black coach, it is that one.
Oh yeah,
baby.
Atlanta just hired a guy that got fired by the Browns, I think Kevin Stefanski is a good coach. I really, really do. But I mean,
fit is everything, and fit and timing is everything. We've seen it time and time again with these coaches.
Yeah, fit and timing, and the NFL, rightly and or wrongly, is a relationship business. Okay, Raheem Morris is the new defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers because he's a good defensive coordinator. He's proven to be a good coach. And he and Kyle Shanahan are boys.
Yep.
Like he and Kyle Shanahan went to jail on the same night, after, going out in the combine. Raheem Morris was getting hemmed up and Kyle Shanahan came to his defense. Like, you go into jail with a cat, like y'all tight, y'all like that. But that's part of the reason. To what extent, I don't know, but that's part of the reason why Raheem Morris is the new defensive coordinator for the Niners. So I say that, and I use as an example as you have these owners who, how familiar are they with Black men in positions of power? They're not. They're not. They're just not. And so because they are not familiar with Black men in positions of power, they're not going to offer Black men positions of power. Now I'm sort of lumping everybody in together because I know not all owners think the same, but the vast majority of them do.
Of
And
course.
if you are a multi-billionaire and you spend no time around black men
Yep.
in positions of power, you won't know
Yep.
a black man in a position of power if he hits you in the face.
Yep.
So because the majority of NFL owners don't have that relationship with black men like that, that's why some of them might just be flat out racist. All right.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the number, I don't know. Who I have my suspicions, I don't know. But what I do know fully is that the vast majority of NFL owners have no practical experience with black men, powerful black men. And because they don't have that experience, they don't want to, they don't want to bring anybody in. It's just not how they get down. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you
That's just it is. That's what it is.
From my point of view. So until, and I don't know how long this is going to take, if it even does take, but until you have owners who are comfortable with powerful, headstrong, confident black men, you are going to have a dearth of black head coaches in this league, even when you have damn near a third of the league with head coaching vacancies, as we saw this as we've seen here this offseason. That we haven't even gotten to the offseason yet because the Super Bowl's not for another few days. So
I mean, it would definitely be helpful if you had more guys who were in the GM slot or the president of football operations slot. That would obviously go a long way. But that's
offensive coordinator.
All of it helps, right? I mean, how long has my man up there in Kansas City been trying to get a head coaching job?
Eric Bieniemy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Byron Leftwich. Yeah.
Here's something though that I'm actually really impressed by: the Las Vegas Raiders hiring of Ken Kubiak.
Yeah. By the way, from the Kubiak family tree, his brother Clay is we call him offensive coordinator. Sure, call him offensive coordinator for the Niners. His father, Gary, former Texans head coach, former Broncos head coach, offensive coordinator for the Broncos. I think offensive coordinator for a couple of teams. So again, we're talking relationships. We're talking familiarity. The Raiders, obviously familiar with that Kubiak brand, and it is a fairly easy decision for them to make.
That has Tom Brady written all over it, because I don't think, and maybe again it's my PTSD, I don't think the Raiders are smart enough to even consider hiring a guy like Kubiak. I think they would have gone in some other direction with some other weird pick that nobody ever heard of. I even think that the hiring of Pete Carroll, I still don't think, I mean, in the end, it turned out to be a bad decision, but I liked the decision initially because it showed that they were actually being serious about this stuff.
Yeah, and then Pete Carroll turned around and hired his son to be the offensive line coach, and the Raiders' offensive line was the worst offensive line
and also,
in the entire league.
The Geno Smith decision really hurt, And so,
yeah, but I still base that on, and Geno didn't do himself any favors. I mean, his play was poor, but he was the most sacked quarterback in the league, partly due to his offensive line being the worst in the league, and I think also partly running into sacks, because sacks is a quarterback stat as well. It just, listen, they're going to draft Mendoza. Okay, fine. I get that. I understand that. But until they get that offensive line fixed, like Ashton Genty was the most contacted running back at or behind the line of scrimmage in the league. Even Christian McCaffrey looked at that and went, wow, he gets hit at or behind the line of scrimmage a lot. And Christian McCaffrey got hit at or behind the line of scrimmage a lot.
I definitely believe that Kubiak is going to do a lot to help. They've got some offensive talent over there now. If they don't, put Mendoza in a bad position, and a bunch of money, like I think they have the second most money under the salary cap. The Raiders do, so they can go out there and do some spending. It could be Tom Brady is turning into a net positive for the Raiders.
We shall see. We shall see. He's actually. Please tell me you've seen Tom Brady on Instagram. I don't know if it's thirst trapping, but he's posting these flirty pictures with these flirty captions. Have you noticed how big of a dork Tom Brady is?
Yeah,
fantastic quarterback. All right, and if you want to have the greatest of all time argument and put him as the greatest, I'm not even going. I'm not going to debate you because okay, fantastic.
He's not the cool kid.
He's such a dork.
He's not the cool kid. He is not the cool kid. But that's probably why all the players around him loved being around him, because he was like one of them essentially.
Yeah. He definitely has that Joe Montana-ish. I'm one of the guys, and he's definitely relatable. But boy, he's a big old dork. Just a giant dork. Fantastic quarterback. Good on television. I think he improved.
I agree. People are shitting on this guy as an analyst. Every time I watch Tom Brady do a game, I learn something.
Absolutely.
Something that I'd never heard before. Like, oh wow.
Quarterbacking savant. Huge dork.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that the human personality contains multitudes. Let's get to the Warriors here. The Warriors off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow. Looks like Steph will not play as he deals with a minor knee issue. They're calling it runner's knee. So Steph is
I call that arthritis.
I call that 37 years old and carrying the weight of a franchise on your back now for several years, which gets us to the Warriors' desires for one freaky Greeky, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The trade deadline is on Thursday, and the Warriors are quite desirous, understandably so, of Giannis Antetokounmpo's services, but so are other teams. Now, the Knicks, out of the teams that are interested, the Knicks, Marcus, seem to be the ones that have, depending on who you listen to or talk to, either are just out completely or they have the least attractive trade package, which puts them out and puts them behind Miami, which is offering Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, and 2 first-round picks. The Warriors are offering 4 first-round picks and a mix of players, if not all of these players that I will mention: Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green. The wild card in this is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their name is bubbled up, and people are saying Marcus Thompson went on KNBR today, and I don't know if Marcus was being a little cheeky, if he was joking, but he was asked, who would Giannis end up with beyond Thursday's trade deadline, and Marcus Thompson, who's plugged in, who knows, who's the homie, said the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the Timberwolves are in the mix. What do you think? You think the Warriors, they have a shot? Do you think they'll get him?
Jeez. If I paid attention to media around here, it would seem like the Warriors are the front runners. But I guess my hot take is that I don't necessarily think it's good for the Warriors. And my reasons are this. It's a splashy pickup. They've coveted Giannis for years. Mm-hmm. It's a splashy pickup, but if we're really being honest, what changes for the Warriors with Giannis? Like the outcome of this season, next season is what? They're not winning championships. I don't think they're winning a championship if they get Giannis this year, next year. I don't see it happening.
But so the overwhelming point of view from Warrior fans is got to get Steph some help, and Giannis is the physical embodiment of the help that Steph so desperately needs. It's some mixture of you got to get Steph some help, or you have to maximize Steph still playing at a high level. Steph going to the All-Star game. Steph's still able to do Steph things. They might not come as frequently as they did in previous younger years for Steph, but Steph clearly is one of the 20 best basketball players on the planet still right now. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So the idea for a lot of Warrior fans, who many of them are fairly new Warrior fans, which makes them more Steph fans than actual Golden State Warrior fans, is Steph's playing at a high level. You got to get him some help, and come what may.
Yeah,
I see both sides. I see that, and I see where you're coming from as well. I do think, and Jimmy Butler's injury is the real shame, because you would either be able to use Jimmy Butler to get Giannis, or you would have Steph, Giannis, and Jimmy Butler. And I think that you obviously need 5 people on the basketball court, and you need more than 5 people to get you where you want to go, which is deep in the playoffs. But boy, that's pretty good. 3 out of 5 you got there in this hypothetical.
Well, yeah, the problem is that you need at least 9 deep to win a title. And
but here's the thing. I think most sane, rational, maybe I shouldn't use that when talking about Warriors / Steph fans, but I think most sane, rational people understand that the Warriors are not a title contending team right now. But this is a team that, to me, I think the desirous ceiling for the Warriors would be stay out of the play-in, get to the second round, as they did last year, but be healthy in the second round, and bam, come what may. As currently constituted, they're not a playoff team. As currently constituted, they're a play-in team. When they had Jimmy Butler, I think they would have been a 5 or a 6 seed at absolute best. And I think you're still talking about getting to the second round and possibly that being the ceiling. What they are right now is a bad stretch or an injury to, knock on wood, this doesn't happen, Steph, that keeps him out of some games, to where you are deep in that play-in, or you don't make the playoffs at all. You don't even get into the play-in. So to me, and I know that this is kind of just short-term instant gratification thing. To me, if you have a chance to get Giannis and pair him with Steph, and maybe you could salvage something or maybe achieve something incredible this season, I think you do it, and you worry about the future when you have to worry about the future.
I mean, that's clearly what the pickup of Giannis would be saying to everybody. And I guess I'm kind of comfortable with just playing the season out, letting it be what it is. I think with Giannis, I still think you're going to be at very best a 6 seed. I don't think especially if you got Giannis, Butler, and Steph on the same team, that's $165 million. That's second apron. What are you filling that team up with? A bunch of G leaguers and rookies and minimum guys? They ain't winning no games, man.
When you said Giannis, Butler, and Steph, I thought you were going to add their combined ages together, or you did add their combined ages together, and you said 165. And then when you said million, I went, oh, he's talking about money, not ages. No, you're right. I mean, it's very top heavy, but
that team ain't winning.
The Warriors as a 6 seed, you absolutely would take that right now. Sure, I think you have to take that right now.
I guess my feeling is, if Jimmy Butler was healthy and it looked like the rotations were starting to solidify, people were starting to find their roles, which is what the part that sucks the most, they probably would have ended up in the same spot. They probably went around in the playoffs, because this is a team that's veteran enough that can always beat you for a round in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Were they going to go further than that? Probably not. Would they go further than that with Giannis? Probably not. Like, they just don't have the horses. I guess that's my feeling. You don't have the horses to push yourself to the ultimate goal, to give yourself a legitimate shot at being a contender. So why give your draft picks away when you've gone the last decade being in a shitty position to draft, and then you get these sort of second round G League cats always over the salary cap, and then everybody accuses you of not developing young talent, even when you haven't had any young talent to develop.
Do they owe it to Steph if this is what Steph wants? Okay, go get Giannis. Do they owe it to Steph because they've seemingly been negligent to maximize Steph's high level of play over these last few years? They've been negligent in getting him some help. Do you owe it to Steph to do what you can to get? If Giannis doesn't want to come here, that's the other thing that we haven't discussed, is that Giannis is, I mean, he's basically in control of this situation. If he has a choice between the Knicks, I'll just include them in this hypothetical here, the Knicks, Miami, the Warriors, or the Timberwolves. If Giannis wants to go to Miami, then that's where he's going to go. Yeah. So if Giannis wants to come here to the Warriors and Steph wants him, do they owe it to Steph to get Steph the help that he wants and the help that he possibly needs?
Everybody talks about owing Steph, and yeah, I think this relationship has been mutually beneficial. Sure. I don't think it's just a owing of Steph. I think they owe each other a legitimate opportunity to win a title. And I guess my feeling is, yeah, I would love to have Giannis on this. Like, if they make the trade for him and they got him, great. It's going to be fun. But that's me as a fan who is kind of happy with the status quo, understand that we're probably going to be in a position where we're not going to win titles for a couple of years. But everybody else is acting like this is what's going to push you over the top. You're going to get Giannis. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, I mean, but clearly those people are just being hyperbolic.
Right.
I think more than anything else, people are saying, how much more time do you have with Steph playing at this high?
Well, my question would be, is getting Giannis really legitimately doing what's best for Steph? Because what do people think of as the best thing for Steph? Is it just getting an opportunity to be in the playoffs? Well, you're probably going to get that regardless by the time this season is over. I mean, you're probably going to get and you're probably going to get an 8th or 7th or 8th seed, and whatever, you'll be in the playoffs. Steph wants to win titles. I don't think he wants to just be in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you're not going to win a title unless you get into the playoffs.
And will that team, if they make this trade, will the team be significantly better?
No, I get that.
I feel like it would be.
Like I said, I think the big shame in all of this is the Jimmy Butler injury. Because to me, as currently constituted, this is not this team. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. They're a playing team at best. And if they do get in, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. They're a first round exit team. And maybe this goes into a different conversation and a bigger conversation about where Draymond is. Forget about the podcasting and the Draymond being Draymond. Draymond, the basketball player, is not as effective. I'm choosing my words carefully because I want to be respectful of his play and what he's been able to contribute over the years, and understanding that he is a very smart basketball player. The brain is still there, but the body is unwilling to do what the brain is asking it to do. Brandon Pajemski, God bless him, but hey man, that dog ain't hunting. Moses Moody, I like Moses. I think he's a good dude to have on your team.
He's 7th, 8th in the rotation. That's where he should be.
Yeah, and inconsistent, to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously, the Kuminga, but the Kuminga situation is that's
untenable. So he's gone.
It's 100% untenable. Al Horford, that's great, but you're just wondering how much longer is that going to last. Will Richard, I'm fine with, but I mean, we're talking about a rookie. To me, there's just not a lot of there
exactly
now. And if you have a chance, and everybody talking about picks, I just don't get all excited about draft picks to begin with, especially in today's landscape. It's not like you're using those picks and you get something in the first round out of college that's going to No, man, it's a completely different story. So to me, hey, man, you only got a few more years of Steph left. If this is cool with Steph and Giannis is his type of hype, I think you do it and you just figure out the rest later on down the road. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm in the camp of I'd love to have him, but let's tamp down the expectations because I don't think anything is going to. The outcome is not going to be significantly different. You're going to be looking at a team that's more entertaining, but the wins and losses, that number, I don't think it's going to be that much different.
But I do think if they get Giannis, even with the trade and whatever they get in return from Milwaukee, I think they're definitely making the playoffs. All right. They're either going to be
definitely. I'm like,
yes.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Now I'm not saying that they're going to be a 5 seed. They'll be a 6. Might come through the play in where they're a 7 seed. But if they get Giannis, absolutely they're a playoff team. Absolutely.
I see 7, 8, no matter what. I'm looking at the rest of that West, and even with Giannis, I don't think they go up the ladder that much, dude.
You're a lot more bullish on what they have right now than I am. I'm just not.
Yeah, I don't think what they have right now means anything. I don't think they have anything great. My feeling is that when you get rid of these players and you have fewer players because you're bringing in Giannis and you're going with Steph and Giannis as basically your centerpieces, you have fewer players that you even know anything about. Yeah, I just
how dare you speak ill of the sharpshooting skills of Quentin Post? Very disappointed in you, Mark.
I mean, what's left? What's left?
You mentioned though, for me, as someone who's not a Warrior fan, but I want them to win. I want to be entertained. Well, and I know basketball is not all about entertainment, but Steph and Giannis.
That's the key.
If I have Giannis holds up. I mean, we're talking about somebody in Giannis who's got a lot of mileage on him.
Hell yeah.
And however much longer you get Steph, shit, man, line that up. Let's go. Yes. Ball up top.
There'll be
ball up top, brother. Because to me, what they have right now, God bless them, and I'm not talking down on them. It bores the shit out of me.
I'm really just like, you know what? Let's start cashing these chips in. Let's let the chips fall where they may. Let these contracts expire. Let's tear this thing down and start all over again.
Well, if Steph's fine with that, okay. But I have a hard time seeing they'd be fine with that. All right. I want to tell you guys a story, if you don't mind. And it's a story that comes with pictures and videos. And it's a story that I'm gonna have to tell you in 4 acts, if you don't mind. But trust me, everybody, trust me, the payoff is going to be well worth it. I want to introduce you all to someone, and introduce you to this young man right here. This young man who will eventually appear on your screen because, of course, when I need this app to work, this app will not work. And I promise you that this young man right here, I want to introduce you to Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Man.
Now, the vast majority of you, if not all of you, have no idea who this person is. And I had no idea who Jarrell Big Baby Miller was prior to this weekend. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is a boxer. He's in the heavyweight division, and he had a fight this past weekend. And okay, guys going into a fight, even though we're talking, literal hand-to-hand combat, you want to look good when you step in the ring. Listen, you look good, you feel good, you box good. I would assume that's the get down. So you will see here, Jarrell Big Baby Miller decided to get himself a fresh cut before the fight. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
as you see,
Big Baby
got the fresh cut, right?
Let's go, baby.
Gotta do it.
Looking clean.
Tyson look. Knock niggas out, baby.
Looking clean. All right. You can't go wrong with that, right?
Nope.
Got the line in the front.
No.
Even got the part. I haven't seen a part. That's like some 80s and 90s shit. When's the last time you
Yeah.
seen a brother with a part, Marcus?
Well,
Been a long time,
I
right?
had a part. I typically have a part
Yeah.
when I get a fresh cut, I'll get a part.
So man got the fresh fade, right?
Yeah,
So he going into combat looking good, ready to knock somebody out. Okay, so now that's act 1 of this story involving Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Now, I would like to take you guys to the fight. And I'm going to show you a video here, and I want you to focus on Jarrell's head. Okay, here we go. All right. Here we go. Eventually, I promise you, the payoff's going to be great. The payoff is going to be great. Make sure you focus on Jarrell Big Baby Miller's. You see it, right?
Yeah.
Right there. Let's go back to the beginning.
I've watched this so many times. I cannot get enough of it.
So now I want you to focus in on the eyes of Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Okay. That dude you saw in Act 1 who just had the fresh cut, who was looking like the world was all his. Now I want you to look in the eyes of Jarrell Big Baby Miller. That's a man who knows he's in trouble and there's nothing he can do about it. Look at the eyes, Chico. They never, ever lie. Now, look at the top of his head. Son, he got his cap peeled back.
For real.
He was out there with the man wig. And son, he was out there with the man wig. And he was sweating. And the glue job was so bad. And he got, by the way, this is round 2 when it happened. He had to fight Jarrell Miller the rest of the fight without his wig, without his man piece, that eventually he ripped off of his head and threw it outside the ring.
First of all, you keep that. You keep that. That is worth so much money now. You keep that. Second of all, I just don't understand the logic in getting, if you're gonna wear a piece, why you wear a piece that's only glued on in a boxing match? Knowing that somebody can knock it right off.
Wait, so he had to fight the rest of the fight with the top down on his convertible. Bruh, can you imagine? Can you imagine having your man wig knocked clean off and you still have to fight with everybody knowing that you was out there faking and perpetrating? Dog,
so
his man wig has a ringside seat.
Why do you do it? Why do
because
you
the male ego is a fragile thing, Marcus. That's why.
You know what? At the very least, you could have got them snaps. You know them snaps that dudes get when they put the little piece in. That way you can snap it on so it won't get knocked off by a good shot.
No, he got the top down.
Oh, man.
So this is Act 3 of Jarrell Big Baby Miller's evening. I now present you with the final act, Act 4 of Jarrell Big Baby Miller's evening, where he had a perfectly reasonable explanation for what happened to his man wig in the ring, and of course he is completely and totally being 100% honest in everything that he's saying. There's absolutely no lies whatsoever in Jarrell Big Baby Miller's explanation of what happened to his man wig. Man wig, he said. Man wig. Okay, now let me stop right here. Let me stop right here. Anytime you ask somebody a question and before they answer you, they pull this move, they thinking of some bullshit. Okay. That's the look of a man who's trying to come up with an answer on the spot as to why the T-top got removed from his IROC Camaro, from his 1987 IROC Camaro. So right here, anytime you hit somebody with a question and they hit you with the like that, you know a 100% uncut lie is coming your way. All right, so here we go.
I get to my mama's house and she has some shampoo bottles.
Okay, shampoo bottles.
I get to my mama's house and she has some shampoo bottles. So funny, right? I get to my mama's house and she has some shampoo bottles under her table. And I shampooed it. Yo, the shit was like ammonium bleach. I already lost my hair like 2 days ago. So I called my man. I said, give me the man. Let me slap that shit on real quick. Abiza knocked that shit off. But like I said before, man, it's funny, man. I'm a comedian.
He's a comedian.
His career's made.
I know it's Black History Month and I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't tell secrets about our people. But Marcus, please forgive me. I got to do something here. I want to introduce to folks who don't know. I want to introduce y'all to crackhead answers. This is a crackhead answer. What is a crackhead answer, you ask? I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you, even though I'm breaking rules in this Black History Month where I'm putting Black folk business in the streets.
Oh my God.
Anytime somebody over explains a situation, you're getting a crackhead answer, which means you are getting lied to in the fullest. Like you ask a crackhead, hey, why did you steal my TV? And they go, oh, that was your TV? Oh, no, I thought that was Junior them TV. And so when you went around the corner, I thought, well, I'll just take the TV and then I'll go take it to the shop to make sure that it worked, right? You know that shop down there on 15th Street. Yeah, Greg's TV shop. Anytime somebody starts offering you extra unnecessary details, that's a crackhead lie. He dropped the biggest crackhead lie on you because when he's like, I was at my mama's house.
I get to my mama's house.
What's your mama got to do with this, dog?
Don't put her in it. She puts her here.
Why are you bringing your mama into your twisted web of lies and intrigue when it comes to the hairpiece that you had on? More crackhead lies coming up.
And she had some shampoo bottles under her table. And I shampooed it. Yo, the shit was like ammonium.
It was like ammonium bleach. She had shampoo bottles under her table, and it was like ammonium bleach. He is crackhead lying.
Yeah, because if that was ammonium bleach, he ain't got not one scar, not one burn, nothing. That looks like a shaved head to me, bro. Ain't no ammonium bleach. Touch that skin. Touch that skin. Who we fooling?
So there you go. That's the story of Jarrell Big Baby Miller, a story in 4 acts. By the way, he won the fight.
I mean, there you go.
He won the fight.
There you go.
He lost the hair war, but he won the fight. And he was actually on the Breakfast Club this morning, and he's making rounds. So
yeah.
Good for the brother. It seems like he's got a good sense of humor, so he won't mind my uproarious laughter when it comes to his man wig misfortune.
He said he a comedian, so his career is made. he can go to rooms anywhere he wants now.
I just love that he went from styling and profiling when they put the man wig on and you couldn't tell him shit. He went from like, I am the toughest and best looking dude in the tri-state area. He went from that to, oh, I was at my mama's house and I used some of her shampoo and it was like ammonium bleach. Like to go from that to that is impressive.
As soon as you get into at my mama's house, anytime we go, anything with our mama, we know you making up some shit.
What you bringing your mama into this for? All right. How about we do some on this date? On this date, February the 2nd, February the 2nd, he said in English, on this date in 1876, 150 years ago, the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs was formed. The National League, as we know it today, was formed. Teams were located in Chicago, Boston, Cincinnati, Hartford, Louisville, New York, Philadelphia, and St. Louis. The American League was formed in 1901, and the two leagues, for lack of a better way of putting it, merged and became what we now know as Major League Baseball in 1902. But the origins of Major League Baseball started, Marcus, on this date back in 1876 with the formation of the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs.
Nice. Good knowledge, that somebody used to say. That's pretty
There
good.
you go. There you go. We stay in the 19th century and we go to 1887, where on this date, the first pulling out Punxsutawney Phil and holding him up to see whether winter was going to last for another 6 weeks or not happened. First Groundhog's Day was celebrated for the first time in the hilariously named Gobbler's Knob in Pennsylvania, with the exception of a couple of years because of World War II. And years where there's no record of Punxsutawney Phil seeing or not seeing his shadow. So I guess those were the true dark times. But this tradition has gone on every day since this date, all the way back in 1887. They reached in the hole and pulled out this giant hairy rodent today, held him up, and Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, which means there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. Let's look at the 10-day forecast, Marcus, for the greater San Francisco Bay Area. We'll just stick with the beautiful city of San Francisco and see what the next 10 days have coming up for us weather-wise, winter time-wise in San Francisco. Oh, wow. It was felt like 67 today in San Francisco, and we're going to stay in the 60s all the way until Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, where there is a 50% chance of rain, and we get to 59 degrees, a little bit of rain on Monday, and then it's sunshine and temperatures in the high 50s. So if that's in 6 weeks of winter we're getting out here in beautiful Northern California, then you know what, Punxsutawney Phil, you all right with me, dog. You all right with me.
All I can think of is Gobbler's Knob.
Knob.
It tickles me so much. Gobbler's Knob, starring Wesley Pipes and Chastity knee pads.
So there you go. The first Groundhog's Day on this date back in 1887, and also on this date back in 1972, the cinematic classic Clockwork Orange was released in theaters. I am a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. Love all of his movies, and this one for me is no exception. It is a tough watch. It is a disturbing watch. But, and again, I'm biased. I'm a Stanley Kubrick fan. It's one of those movies where you can't take your eyes off of it. You think about it for days and days and days and days after you see it. There's so many ways to interpret it. It's an absolute classic, man. It's an absolute classic.
Yeah, dude. It's still, even now, if you watch it now, it holds up very well.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, watching it as an adult is far more disturbing.
Yeah, right.
Well, because you understand so much more now.
Yes.
Like back when you're a kid, it's just the imagery was weird. It's crazy,
Yes.
but now you understand it.
Yes. I could not have said it better. The first time I saw it was in college, and the shocking nature of it, stuck with me.
Yeah.
And the sort of the base level stuff, but repeated viewings as I've gotten older, it's even more disturbing, You know what I mean? It's even more visceral. It's even more, what the fuck was that? You know? And when a movie, you know, that's well over 50 years old can still do that, to me that's a hallmark of Stanley Kubrick films. I've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey
Mm.
dozens of times.
I think
Dozens of
most
times.
of us have, right?
There are parts of it I still just don't understand, but it doesn't stop me from watching it. I've watched The Shining, God knows how many times,
Oh
and
my
there's parts
gosh.
of it where I just I don't understand it. It's fascinating, and I know it's a book, but his
Full Metal
movies,
Jacket
Full Metal
is
Jacket. Oh my God, yeah, it's
whoa,
his movies
whoa.
are just unbelievable pieces of art that just stick with you forever, quite frankly. And
Yeah,
Clockwork Orange might be the top of that list in terms of sticking with you forever.
you know,
Once you see it.
when I was younger, when I was really just kind of getting into film, I always wondered why he wasn't a very prolific director. But you know, as an adult looking back, you go, "Oh yeah," because every time you make one of these movies, you have to go sit the fuck down somewhere
Right.
for a few years.
That's a very good point.
You got to go sit down.
Even starting with Doctor Strangelove, you're like, what
Yeah,
the fuck
dude.
is this?
Yeah, yeah.
What is going on with this
It's
movie? I
happening
just don't
here.
understand, but I have to watch it. That's a very good point. So there you go. So on this date, February 2nd, all the way back in 1876, the National League was formed. The first Groundhog Day took place in Gobbler's Knob, Pennsylvania, in 1887, and in 1872, the cinematic classic A Clockwork Orange was released in theaters. We wrap up every edition of Quality Hang with the best thing that I've seen today. It's something that I found on Beyonce's internets,
Yeah.
and it became the best thing that I've seen today. And I show it to you in hopes that it is the best thing that you will see today. Two Tampa Bay Buccaneer football players
Mm.
saw a hockey match over the weekend, and Tez Johnson and Chris Godwin had really good seats. And I'll just simply present this to you as two brothers watching hockey, one of them for the very first time.
What?
It's the best thing that I've seen today, and I think it's going to be the best thing that you will have seen today. Two brothers watching hockey. Let's
If
go.
we score again, they're going to erupt.
Yeah, the whole stadium. Get up on my boy Hagel, man. Oh, Lord, have mercy.
If you could figure out how to skate, you probably be like nice on ice.
Wait, bro, I'm... Yeah! Let's go! Let's go, twin! Let's go, bro! We ain't losing without a fight. We better score again. I might just jump in the ring. I can't play hockey, bro. We'll be fighting out there in the parking lot. Yeah! Twin! There you go, Hagel! That's what you're talking. Oh, let me back up. I'm getting a little too close. Let's go, bro! There we go, Bessie! How you doing, twin? It's ties in hockey? You been tied up in hockey?
Nah, it'll go to
Overtime?
Yeah.
3-on-3?
then the shootout.
Shootout, we can't, man, there's a lot going on right now. I'm overstimulated. Hit right here, hit him. Boom,
Yeah.
that's what you get. Get away on
Hey, too
twin.
small.
Get away on twin, I do it. Hey, we got 18 seconds, man. We gotta go to the crib.
It's time
I'm
to work.
hungry, bro.
Good seeing
yeah, I
you,
will.
brother.
I appreciate it. Man, what? I'm gonna start coming to games, boy.
I told you it's exciting, dog.
Tez Johnson and Chris Godwin watching hockey. That's
yeah,
the best thing I've seen today.
Two things I know for sure right off the bat. With those two black men in that hockey arena, they immediately doubled the black population inside that arena. And as always, black folks and stuff, they always just make it better. Just make it more better every time.
Oh man. Well,
I get it too. Going to hockey games is
so much fun. So much fun. You don't get an appreciation as to how great they are athletically until you see it live. You just don't realize how fast they're moving. And I get a lot of pushback on this. I'll continue to say it. I think hockey players are the best athletes on the planet. For them to do what they do on ice is an amazing thing. It's unbelievable. And there's a lot of people that have that the reaction that Tez Johnson had. First time to see a hockey game, it will change your perspective on the entire sport. So there you go. So that's the best thing I've seen today, and hopefully that's the best thing you will have seen today. And I think that does it for today's edition of Quality Hang. Let's say you get out of here. What do you think about it, Marcus?
Let's do it, baby.
All right, everybody. As always, we thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Nevada. Check them out online at hopmonk.com. Follow them on all the socials. Better yet, make sure you stop by a Hop Monk location if you're hungry, if you're thirsty, or you want to be entertained, because the food is fantastic. The craft beer selection is outstanding, and they've got something for you, no matter how you like to be entertained. Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. To all of you in the chat, we love that you guys get active in there. We love the Quality Hangers. We love your support. Thank you. We will see you later on this week. Marcus, my brother, as always, it was a stone groove. How about we do it again on Thursday? What do you say?
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah, so we'll have some clarity when it comes to the Warriors and the Giannis situation, and we will be that much closer to Super Bowl 60 down in Santa Clara. So clearly and obviously we will give our thoughts and our picks on that game, and maybe another boxer will go into the ring with a man wig and have it knocked off, and we can have a good hearty laugh about it without getting our wigs knocked off. All right, everybody, we will see you later on this week, and as always, be good and be good at it. We'll see you. Bye.